Okay, I'm going to go through the answers to the foundation homework booklet. I'm just going to go through skill set 1 and task 1 and 2. So this is all about adding and subtracting in words. So if you've come across the word sum, total, plus, altogether, more than, that means you're adding. Whereas if you come across subtracting words such as difference, take away, take off, minus, less than, you're subtracting. When you come to with decimals, don't forget to line up with your decimal point, and if you fill in any gaps with a 0, then that would help you with subtracting. You can also use the add-on tool, so this is like a jumping method you can use whenever you come up with some subtracting questions that are a bit hard. You can either just use the column method, or you can jump adding. So if we have a look at task 1, this first one is find the sum of 56 and 687. So sum means add. So it's really a good habit to get into the practice of always putting your bigger number on top. So if we start with 687, and underneath now we're going to add 56. So our 5 is a 10, so our 8 is also 10, so it needs to come underneath our 8. And our 6 is also in the units like our 7, so it needs to come underneath our 7. So we got 687 add 56. We'll start on our right hand side with 7, add 6 to get 13. So we write our 3 and we carry our 1 because that's our 10s. It doesn't really matter where you carry them, I like to carry them underneath, and as long as they're in line with my 10s. So now I've got 8, add 5, which is 13. I add my 1 to get 14. So my 4, carry my 1 now to get into my hundreds. So we've got 6, add 1 to get 7. So the answer should be 743. Next one, we got to find the difference between 136 and 48. Difference means subtract. So we've got 136, and we're going to subtract 4 comes in my 10, so underneath my 3, and our 8 is on my unit, so it comes underneath my 6. So 136 take away 48, we got 6 take away 8. Now when we're subtracting, if the number at the bottom is bigger, we're going to borrow. So we can't do 6 take away 8 because there's not enough numbers in 6 to take 8 from. So we need to borrow 1 from the 3. Our 3 now becomes 2 because we're taking just 1. And that's 1 that goes to my 6 to make 16. So I've got 16 take away 8, which is 8. Then I've got 2 take away 4. Again, the number at the bottom is bigger, so I need to borrow all of that 1. That becomes 0 to make 12. 12 take away 4 is also 8. Next one, we got 67 plus 93. So again, I'm going to write my bigger number on top just to get always into the habit of doing that. And we're doing adding 67. So 3, add my 7 first to get 10. 9, add my 6 is 15. Add that 1 to get 16. Next one, find the total. That again means add. So we're going 896 and we're adding 354. Notice how I'm laying out my numbers nice and big. I'm not squishing them all up. I've got lots of room. So I start with my 6 and my 4. So 6 and 4 is 10. So I put my 0, carry my 1. 9 add 5 is 14, add my 1 to get 15, so put my 5, carry my 1. 8 add 3 is 11, add my 1 to get 12. Next one, subtract 586 from 3,537. Again, bigger number up top. And this time we are subtracting 586. So I start on my right hand side, 7 take away 6 is 1. 3 take away 8, I can't do it. I need to borrow from this 5, so that becomes 4. This is now 13. So we've got 13, take away 8 is 5. 4 take away 5, again we can't do it. We're going to need to borrow. So we've got 14 take away 5, which is 9. And 2 take away nothing is 2. Next one, we're going to find the sum of 6.86 and 13.49. So if I write my 13.49 first, when you come to decimals, you want to line up your decimals. So my 6 is going to come before my decimal, and then my 86 is after my decimal. I've lined up my decimal first. We're finding the sum, so we're adding these, starting on my end. So on my right hand side, I've got 9 add 6 to get 15, so I put my 5, carry my 1. 4 add 8 to get 12, add my 1 to get 13. This 1 now carries all the way over here on our decimal. It's just going to move straight down. See how they are in a nice neat line now. So I got 6, add my 3 to get 9, add my 1 to get 10. And then 1, add my 1 to get 2, so it's 20.35. Next one, Jim has £674, Tim has 587. How much money do they have all together? All together means that we've got to add them, so we're going to do 674, and we're adding 587. So we're going to start on my right hand side. 4 add 7 to get 11. So I put my 1, carry my 1. We got 7 add 8, that's 15. Add my 1 to get 16. 6 add 5 is 11. Add my 1 is 12. So I don't need to carry my 1 for my 12 because there's no numbers before 6 and 5 to add on to. So it's just 1. Jim has still got £674. Tim has still got 587. How much less? Excuse me, sorry. Jim has still the same amounts. How much less do they have? So less means I've got to subtract them. So I've got 674 and I'm subtracting 587. Again, I'm starting on my right hand side. I got 4 take away 7 I can't do. I'm going to have to borrow from this 7, so it becomes 6. And then I now got 14 take away 7, which is 7. 6 take away 8 I can't do, so I'm going to have to borrow from this 6 to make 16 take away 8, which is 8. And 5 take away 5 is nothing. So he's got 87 more pounds. Next one, I buy a top for £14.78. How much change do I get from 20? So I'm going to use the jumping method to do this. So think about it. You want to go from 14.78 and we want to see how much more you need to add until you get 20. So think about how much more you need to add to get your next pounds. How much would you need to get £15? So that would only be 22 pence. So if I add 22 pence onto 14.78, I've got 15. And then how much from 15 up to 20 would just be £5. So it's going to be in total £5.22. Same thing for if I buy a drink for £2.36. How much change do I get from £10? So how much more do you need to get to the next pound? So to £3. So that's going to be 64 pence. And then from £3 up to £10, that's going to be £7. So it's £7.64. Okay, I'm going to go through task 2 now. So task 2, we've got find the sum of 35 and 786. So again, always get into the habit of writing your bigger number up top. And then we're going to find the sum, so that means add. And we got 35, so I'm going to write that 3 in my tens, 5 in my units. So I've got 6 add 5, that's 11. So I put my 1, carry my 1. 8 add 3, that's 11. Add my 1 to get 12. Then I got 7 add 1, which is 8. So we've got 821. Next one, we got to find the difference. So difference means we got to subtract. So 685, and we're taking away 58. So I'm going to start on my right hand side. So 5 take away 8 we can't do. The bigger number is at the bottom, so we've got to borrow from this 8 to make 7. We got 15 take away 8, which is 7. 7 take away 5, which is 2, and 6 take away nothing is 6. Next one, we're going to add these. So plus 574, and we're going to plus 246. I'm going to start on the right hand side. So 4 add 6 to get 10, so put my 0, carry my 1. 7 add 4 is 11, add my 1 to get 12, so put my 2, carry my 1. 5 add 2 is 7, add my 1 is 8. Next one, we've got to find the total, so that means we've got to add them. 879, and we're going to add 352. So we'll start on the right hand side. 9 add 2 is 11. Put my 1, carry my 1. 5 add 7, add 5 to get 12. Add my 1 is 13. 8 add 3 is 11. Add my 1 is 12. Next one, we've got to subtract 56 from 585. So bigger number up top. We're going to subtract 56. So we've got 5 add 6. Subtract 6, we can't do it. We've got to borrow from the 8, that becomes 7. Now we've got 15 take away 6, that's 9. 7 take away 5, that's 2. And 5 take away nothing, that's 5. Next one, we've got to find the sum. So that means we've got to add 18.2. We're going to add 9.38. Don't forget to line up those decimals. Now don't forget there's a gap here and there's nothing there. So we have a number to represent nothing. It's 0. So we have invisible zeros after numbers. Now we're adding these. We've got 0 add 8 is 8. 2 add 3 is 5. Our decimal just moves straight down. 8 add 9, that's 17. So I put my 7, carry my 1. And 1 add 1 is 2. So we've got 27.58. Next one, Jill has 747. Bill has 287. How much money do they have all together means we've got to add. So we've got Jill's first, add Bill's, bigger number up top. So we've got 4, add our 7 to get 11, put my 1, carry my 1. 7 add 9 is 16, add my 1 is 17. 4 add 2 is 6, add my 1 is 7. This time Jill has 514, Bill has 247. How much less money? So we've got to subtract them. So bigger number up top and smaller number underneath. We're subtracting. So we've got 4 take away 7 we can't do. We need to borrow. 14 take away 7 is 7. 0 take away 4 we can't do. We need to borrow. So 10 take away 4 is 6. And 4 take away 2 is 2. Next one, I buy a pair of socks for £3.43. How much change do I get from £5? So I'm going to do my jumping method for this one. So we got £3.43. How much do you need to get to the next pound? So how much will you need to get to £4? So that's going to be 57 pence. And then we go from £4 up to £5. That's just £1. So we got £1.57. I'm going to show you on this next one how you could do it if you're using the column method to subtract, okay? So if I buy a meal for £6.23, how much change do I get from £10? So if we've got £10 and we're taking away £6.23, you've got to fill your gaps with 0. Do you see how this one all of a sudden does look a lot harder than the jumping method? Because you can't do 0 take away 3, so you have to borrow all the way from this first number, which is 1 would turn into a 0, and then we've got 10. So we need to borrow from the 10, that now becomes 9. This one now becomes 10. This one now becomes 9 because we need to borrow, and this now becomes 10. Do you see how much more complicated this is than the jumping method? So we've got 10 take away 3, which is 7. 9 take away 2, which is also 7. Decimal just moves straight down. 9 take away 6, which is 3. Okay, so if you've got a lot of zeros, you have to keep going all the way back until you can borrow from a number, basically. Okay, that's task 1 and task 2.